Hello student, good morning. I hope you all will be safe and sound. As we are discussing in the history that in the previous video, we have mainly discussed about the caste reforms, whatever the caste reforms have been done and how the lower caste people, they have migrated from one place to another place. So here now we are continuing with this one chapter that they have given here about the demand for equality and justice. Under this one, you will come to know which sort of the demands, whatever the reformers were there, which sort of the demands they have created at the time for equality among men and women, as well as the justice for each and everyone. As you all know that at that time the Indian society was divided into different caste system that was being followed, as well as the discrimination was being done on the basis of their gender, that is male or female. So what they have given here, see, gradually by the second half of the 19th century, people from within the non-Brahmin caste began organizing movements against caste discrimination and demanded social equality and justice. So here they have given mainly about the non-Brahmin caste, mean to say the middle class and the lower caste people who were considered at that time the lower caste people. So what happened? They just begin to organize the movements. They just organize the movements, different kind of the movements against the caste discrimination, whatever the caste discrimination was being followed at that time, and demanded a social equality and justice. They just demanded that there must be the social equality and the social justice must be got by these people, because they also tried to get the equal status as the upper caste people were getting at that time. Then the Sanatani movement, that is in central India, was founded by Ghasidas, who worked among the leather workers and organized a movement to improve their social status. Here they have given one movements which were initiated by the Ghasidas. This movement mainly, that is Sanatani. This movement was initiated mainly in the central part of our country. It was founded by the Ghasidas, who worked among the leather workers, who worked as a leather worker over there and organized a movement to improve their social status. And he wanted to improve whatever their social status was there. And after this one, in Eastern Bengal, Haridas Thakur, that is Matwa sect, work among that is Chandela cultivators. And here they have given the example in the eastern part of our country, mainly in the Bengal presidency at the time, the Haridas Thakur's name of a person who just initiated over there, that is Matwa sect. Matwa sect means the sections of the society, the particular, we can say the particular society which were being just considered as a lower caste over there. They also, what they did, they also worked in the Chandela cultivators, means that they worked as a cultivator over there, who used to cultivate the land, who used to produce the things from the agricultural field. Then after what they have given, Haridas question a Brahmanical text that supported the caste system. So the Haridas mainly, he just questioned, he just asked to the Brahmanical, whatever the Brahmins have written the text and sent text over there, so that supported the caste system. He just raised the question against it. Then in what is present day Kerala, a guru from, that is Izawa caste, Sri Narayan Guru, the proclaim the ideals of unity of his people. And here they have given in the southern part of our country, mainly in the Kerala, that is also the state of our country. So here, one of more, that is reformer, who raised his voice, that is Izawa caste, mainly the Narayan Guru. He raised his voice particularly for this particular lower caste people and proclaimed the ideals of unity of his people. He just proclaimed, he just declared the unity for his people in this particular area. He argued against treating people unequally on the basis of caste differences. So here they have given that he argued, he just raised his voice against the treating people unequally on the basis of caste differences. Whatever the people were discriminated at the time on the basis of caste. On the basis of caste differences, the people were discriminated, as we all know that. So what the thing happened there, he also raised his voice against this. According to him, all humankind belong to the same caste. According to him, what he just told over there, all humankind belong to the same caste. All the human beings, they belong from the same caste. There should not be any kind of the discrimination on the basis of the caste. Then What he told, one of his famous statement was, famous statement was given by him. This famous statement has been given here. That is Oru Jati, Oru Matam, Oru, that is Davian, that is Manu Sangu. That means to say one caste, one religion, one God for humankind. It means to say, he told in the the language, the local language, whatever the local language was spoken over there, maybe in Malayalam. So that means to say one caste, one religion, one God for humankind. For all the persons, one caste must be there, one religion must be there, one God for the humankind. Then after, all these sects were founded by leaders who came from non-Brahminical caste and worked among us them. So all these sections, all these sects mean to say all these people who are facing the problem of a caste system over there. So these all the people just worked against the Brahminical caste, whatever the Brahmins have made over there, whatever the caste system was there, and also work among us them. They tried to change those habits and practices which provoked the contempt of dominant caste. So these all the people, they just changed those habits. Whatever the things, whatever the customs were being followed at that time, they try to change it, these practices, which provoked the contempt of the dominant caste. Whatever the dominant caste means to say here, that is the upper caste people who try to dominate the lower caste people. Then they try to create a sense of self-esteem among the subordinate castes. And these people also tried to create a sense of self-esteem, self-respect among the subordinate caste. Then they have given the one book name, that is Gulamgiri, which were mainly written by Jyotirao Phule. The right side you can see the pic of the Jyotirao Phule. So this book has been written by him. So here that book name is Gulamgiri. What the things have been given in this one? See, in this one book, one of the most vocal among us, the low caste leaders, was Jyotirao Phule. One of the person who just fought against the lower caste people, tried to get the equal status as the upper caste people were getting. So that has been given about the Jyotirao Phule. Born in 1827, he studied in a school set up by Christian missionaries. So they have given about here about the Jyotirao Phule. He born in the year of 1827. He studied in a school set up by the Christian missionaries. Whatever the school was set up, established over there by the Christian missionaries, that is related to the Christianity. So he studied over there. On growing up, he developed his own idea about the injustice of caste society, and he set out to attack the Brahmins, claimed that they were superior to others since they were Aryans. So after getting the education during his growing up age, during his young age, what he did, he developed his own ideas. He just created his own idea over there and about the injustice of caste society. Whatever the caste society injustice, whatever the injustice, not the justice, not the equal status were being found in the society, so he just fought against of this one. And he set out to attack the Brahmins' claim. And he also just made his mind, he just developed his own ideas like that as he attacked on the Brahmins, as they claimed that they were superior to others since they were Aryans. And he told he belonged from the Aryan community, so they were superior than Brahmins, like this. Then Phule argued that the Aryans were foreigners who came from outside the subcontinent and defeated and subjugated the true children of the country. So here, the Aryan, that is mainly the Jyotirao Phule, he argued that Aryans were the foreigners. They were the foreigners. They do not belong from the same country. They were from the other parts of the this one world, and they who came from the outside to the subcontinent. They came to our country from the outside and defeated and subjugated the true children of the country, those who had lived here from before the coming of the Aryans. He told that who were living here, who were the natives before the Aryans, who established who made their settlement in the country, they were the real children of the country. They were the real natives of the country compared to the other persons who came from the outside. He meant to say. Then, as the Aryans established their dominance, they began looking at the defeated population as inferior, as low caste people. as the Aryans, they established as they were considered as the foreigners. Okay, they came from the another side, and what happened? They established their own dominance. They just established their own dominance over there, and by making their dominance over there, they saw the people who were living in the country. They saw them as the inferior. Inferior means very backward. They were considered as very backward, as low caste people. According to Phule, the upper caste had no rights to their land and power. So according to the Phule, the upper caste had no right to their land and power. In reality, the land belonged to the indigenous people, that so-called low caste. So also the Phule, Jyotirao Phule, he told that whatever the land is there, that belongs to the indigenous people. Indigenous people mean to say who were the natives of the country. जो क्या कहते हैं यहीं के natives थे, who used to live from early ancient age in the country. This land belonged to them, not to the people who came from the outside. Then Phule claimed that before Aryan rule, there existed a golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land and ruled the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. So the Phule as well, what he just told over there, that is, before Aryan rule, there existed a golden age. Before the outsiders, whoever the foreigners came, before it, there was a golden age in our country. Golden age in the subcontinent. That is golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land. When the warriors as well as the peasants, the farmers, they used to till the land. They used to produce the things from the land and rule the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. He proposed that Sudras, laboring caste people, and Ati Sudras, untouchables, should unite to challenge caste discrimination. He also supported and he also told that who were considered as the Sudras and Ati Sudras, these were the laboring caste people as well as the untouchables, they should unite together and they should fight against the caste discrimination. The Satya Sodak Samaj, an association Phule founded, propagated caste equality. He just founded one Samaj, one society named as Satya Sodak Society. That is Satya Sodak Samaj, and it is an organization, it is an association which was founded by Jyotirao Phule, and it is for just maintaining, just supporting to the caste equality in the country. This is all about Jyotirao Phule. Then in 1873, Phule wrote a book named Gulamgiri, meaning slavery. He wrote one book in the year of 1873. His book name is Gulamgiri. It means in English that is slavery. Mean to say Gulami. Then some 10 years before this, the American Civil War had been fought, leading to the end of slavery in America. So he inspired by this civil war which were fought in the America before 10 years when he wrote this one book, mean to say that is 1863. This war was fought over there. So he just got some inspiration from this war, and he also tried to just remove the slavery, the Gulami from the country. Then Phule dedicated his book to all those Americans who had fought to free slaves, thus establishing a link between the conditions of the lower caste in India and the black slaves in America. So here they have given about the Phule. What he did, he just dedicated his book, mainly this book totally dedicated to those persons who had for the free slave in America. Mean to say for getting the slavery in USA as well as thus establishing a link between the conditions of the lower caste in India and the black slaves in America. The black slaves, they were made in America, and here the lower caste people, they were the slaves of the upper caste people. Then, as this example shows, Phule extended his criticism of the caste system to argue against all forms of inequality. By writing these all the things, what the things have been done over there. So here, as this example shows, Phule extended criticism of the caste system. Whatever the caste system was being followed at that time in our country, so he extended this criticism. He raised his voice against of this and argued against all forms of inequality. Whatever the inequality, not equality in the society, inequality was found, so he just argued against it. He was concerned about the plight of upper caste women. He also just told that is the plight, the very pathetic condition, very bad condition of the women, upper caste women in the society, the miseries of the laborers and the humiliation of the low caste people. And he also saw over there that is the merciness, that is misery, the very pathetic condition, very bad condition of the the laborers mainly, and the humiliation of the lower caste people. This movement for caste reform was continued in the 20th century by our great Dalit leader Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar in the Western India and E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in the South. Then the same movements, same initiatives, later on, it has been taken by our great Dalit leader named Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of Indian Constitution. He fought against of this system for the Dalits, for getting the equality in the Western India mainly, and the E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, he also fought the same movement in the South. Then, who could enter temples? So here, if the caste system is being followed, so definitely there is also some problems for entering in the temples. What they have given here, Ambedkar was born into a Mahar family. And the Mahar family, it was considered at the time in the southern part of our country as a lower caste people. Okay, in Mahar family, as a child, he experienced what caste prejudice meant to everyday life. What about the prejudicing the caste system? Mean to say, forcing more on the caste system. Blindly follow this caste system in the southern part of our country. So he told this one thing. He also experienced during his early life. In school, he was forced to sit outside the classroom on the ground and was not allowed to drink water from taps that upper caste children used. So whenever he used to go to the school, this thing happened with this one. He was not allowed to sit in the classroom. He was allowed to sit outside of the class. Even he can't take the water. He can't drink the water from the upper caste children who were taking the water. Then, after finishing school, he got a fellowship to go to the US for higher study. So after this one, he went to the US for getting the fellowship to the US for higher study. On his return to India in 1919, he wrote extensively about upper caste power in contemporary society. At that time, contemporary society means to say, whatever the society at that time that was existed. So, whatever the caste system was being followed and whatever the oppressiveness, the dominance of the upper caste people at that time in the existed society, so he wrote about it. In 1927, Ambedkar started a temple entry movement. In 1927, he started the temple entry movement in which his Mahar caste followers participated. In which all the Mahar caste people, they followed to the Ambedkar. Then Brahmins, priests were outraged when the Dalits used water from the temple tank. So whoever the Brahmins at the time, upper caste people over there, so whoever the priest who used to do the worship in the temples, these all were outraged. They raised their voice against the Dalits who used to take the water from the temple tank. Ambedkar led 3 such movements from temple entry movement in 1927 and 1935. His aim was to make everyone see the power of caste prejudice within the society. So here, mainly his aim was to, mainly the Ambedkar, his aim, that is to make everyone to see the power of caste prejudice within the society. Then, after this one, non-Brahmin movements. So these were also started. So what they have given under this one, see, in the early 20th century, the non-Brahman movement started. The initiative came from those movements, those non-Brahmin caste who has acquired to access to the education. Here they have given education, wealth and influence. So here, in this one, what happened, this in the 20th century, the non-Brahman movement that is started. Non-Brahman movement means to say, the Brahmins, the upper caste people, they didn't participate. All the other caste people who were treated as inferior, as very backward over there. And the initiative came from those Brahmin, non-Brahmin castes that had acquired to access to the education. They means those lower caste people took the participate in these movements who got the education, who educated themselves at that time, and who are also having the good wealth and influence over the society. They argued that Brahmins were heirs of Aryan invaders from the north who had conquered southern lands from the original inhabitants of the region, that is indigenous Dravidian races. So in this that mean to say these people who took the initiatives in the movements, who took the participate in the these non-Brahmanical movements. So what they did, they just told the Brahmins were the heirs. Heirs mean to say successors. Okay, that is successor you might have known. Like if father is going to die, so in his throne, who will be the this one owner of the property? Definitely his son. Successors like this. Okay, predecessor and successor you might have read in also in maths. Same like this. So the Brahmins, these were the successors of the Aryan invaders, Aryan attackers. Invader means who attacked from the north, who had conquered, who had got victory, southern land from the original inhabitants, whoever the original natives or original indigenous people of our country. These indigenous people were the Dravidian races. They also challenged Brahmanical claims to power. They also told here, they also just challenged the Brahmanical claims to the power. Then, after this one, they have given about the E.V. Ramaswamy. What he did, that thing has been given, that we will discuss next video, okay?